In March, we showed you some of the items donated for our fundraising auction. This took place in the library of Theok House in Tewkesbury on the evening of the 23rd of April, St George's Day. The event was well attended, with plenty of interest in many items, especially the Tewkesbury Gospels. Bidding was brisk for this unique item, which was finally sold to Peter Hancock. Peter, an old Theoksburian, now living and working in America, has been following these news videos on the sculptures. Their arrival in Florida was an exciting moment.
I will be careful about that a bit later on. The Tewkesbury Gospels, created around Wycliffe translation of the Gospels. Each page is hand-finished with a coat of arms of a knight known to have fought in the battle. Now, oh, look, wonderful. Dedicated to all those known and unknown who were on the battlefield of Tewkesbury. Sir William Allington's the first one. Oh, we take him to be a Yorkist. He is the White Rose of York. And there's the man himself, Lancastrian John Fortescue. We've got some wonderful coat of arms there, which I shall hopefully do a scan of. And Fortescue is one of the chaps I've been working on, and one of the primary reasons I was so interested in accumulating this. I shall treasure this, and eventually I'm sure it'll become part of our family inheritance, but I think there's a good possibility this might well be returned to Tewkesbury also, which of course is its spiritual home.
Peter, with his wife and daughter, came to this year's festival and followed the town mayor as she made her way to the battlefields. There they met Alex Summers, who illustrated and bound the Gospels, with his wife Pam, who designed the new font and key-entered the text.
Yeah, so we were just there, sort of opening up was...
We feel sure the Gospels have been delivered into safe hands and are going to be respected and looked after throughout the years ahead.
Yes, 34 years old.
At the sculpture construction site, the drier and warmer summer this year has enabled Phil to make considerable progress with the project.
You've witnessed the removal of the knight and the horse's head and neck assembly, and we've now done the short move from the scaffold just to my left. We've moved the rest of the horse, the spine and leg assembly. He's braced up down here just to prevent any slight movement of the legs in relation to the body and belly pieces. The reason for the move is to vacate under the scaffold, and we've, as you'll see in a minute, we've started the second horse, the Lancastrian horse I'm calling it. I quite like the horse here now, what is of it. I'm quite pleased at the way it's still got a sense of scale now we've moved it into the open. It's nice to see it freed from the cage it's been in under the scaffold, and it's reacting well with the landscape here at Noxon, as is the same scale at Stonehill, where it's going to go and live eventually. Height and everything, he's slightly chocked up here to stop him sinking. I don't want groundwater moving up into his feet, which is the purpose of the steel brackets anyway, the stainless steel. If you, Colin and Chris, can move round later and get a shot of the slots here in the bottom of each leg and the two through bolt holes. This is to take the stainless steel brackets that we've had made, which will in effect lift the whole thing about 118 mil, just over 6 inches off the concrete base, to keep that, and then there'll be a backfill of soil. So in effect you'll have a 2-inch 50 millimetres of airspace under each hoof, so there's no groundwater getting up inside there. But yeah, if the cameras wander around this, you'll get that sense of the form of the thing, which I'm pleased with. So it's now weathering, which it will continue to do once it's on site in Tewkesbury. The other two components, you saw them moved and laid up there alongside. I'm keeping the rider sheeted over I don't want too much weathering and rain to go into the face of the knight, which is, he's lying here face upwards. The horse, the head can weather just to weather in tune with the rest of the structure. So yeah, we'll move on to the new one now. Here we are over at the new horse, and we're accompanied by a swallow up in the scaffold here. So he stopped singing. There he goes. Yep. I've now started the second horse, the Lancastrian, the defeated horse, with the head down. General view here shows the spine raised with the hip piece bolted to it, jointed and bolted. And I've now offered up both hind legs and started to joint this one, the horse's left hind leg. And I shall shortly drill a couple of through bolt holes and we'll have that secured. So as you can see, everything's supported temporarily at the moment. Both chain hoists holding the legs, and there's one at the back to control the attitude of the hock, is it? Yeah, I still don't know my horse anatomy. I'll grab the maquette here. So again, this is at 1 to 10 scale, so there to there is just over 300 mil, 350 mil, which is just over a foot, 12 inches. Obviously the posture of this is quite different to the first one. The first one had the raised head, the proud head with the rider on. There's no rider on this, but there will be the single lance with the drooping pennant and the bowed head. This is all to signify the sense of defeat and loss, perhaps death, yeah. It's largely the same, the body part is largely the same drill as the first horse. Slightly different stance. There's not as much action in this one, not as much animation. It's more of a static posture the horse has taken. Try and get the tail down more. As you've just seen, the first horse had the tail flying up, indicating more motion. But same treatment to the mane and everything, yeah, the spikes and whatever. All the components are largely lined up here, so we're sailing on now through summer and try and get the thing done and dusted. Looking forward to that. Jointing is much the same. That spine piece is actually a sister piece to the spine of the first horse. They came from the same tree which we found on the Stanway estate out just near Winchcombe up in the Cotswolds. It was a huge tree that had windblown on the estate, and the contractor removing it, I was in touch with him, Ron Rose, and he's kindly let me have some of these large pieces. So there's a nice symmetry there between the two horses, the fact that it's the same tree that sourced them. It's good solid piece, and of course it's got the nice sway in the back there, and the drop for the tail, and the lift where we'll joint the head on eventually. So I'll now get on and do some drilling, get that first leg fixed, then I can start to remove chain hoist. Okay, let's get the countersink bit.
You carry on, sir.
Before he starts drilling, Phil makes certain the bolts securing the hips are really tight.
Let's tighten those bolts. Whoa, that's it. It's shrinking nicely in this weather. This is excess length here on the top of the leg, so we'll trim it flush with the top of the hip piece here, so we'll run right. So you won't have this odd projection. Similarly on the other side.
Phil prepares his drill for the task ahead.
We're going to nip down and start the generator and do the countersink holes, the short holes to start with. See if the cable will reach. Come on.
Oak is a very hard wood, and Phil has to lean heavily on his drill. Shavings fly and smoke rises.
Bit of steam rising there. Whew, smell of wood. It's good and hot. Yeah. Nice blue metal there. You can see it's hot. I've got dust on your lens there.
Holes to countersink the washers and nuts are complete. Using his long bit, Phil now drills holes for the rods. But after a while he encounters a problem.
Drill isn't long enough to go through the whole lot. So I'm only a couple of inches short, so we'll back the leg off and finish the hole through the hip piece. Have to swing the leg out of the way.
Before this, Phil drills a second hole from this position.
Yeah, we're just a couple of inches short, that's all.
To get a complete hole, Phil will have to loosen the leg strap and move to the other side, where he can also countersink the other end of the hole.
I have to whiz up a ladder to get at those. There's a bracket in the way. I'll need to do some unfixing. I'll have to unbolt it. It's a scaffold bracket to stop the hip sliding on this cross pole. I'll do this one and then move the ladder, I think.
Once again you can see Phil has to exert great pressure on the drill to force it into the oak. This has been tiring work.
That'll do. That's all the drilling now. There's a bit of excess thickness, certainly down here in the lower portion below the hock, is it? Is that what you call a hock? Yeah, should know by now, yeah. Yeah, and the hoof. Right, and here's the rain.
It looks like I spoke too soon about the good weather. Persistent fine rain has arrived. However, Phil has made further progress today and the forecast is for more fine days to come. Please look again soon to see how Phil is progressing with the second horse, representing the defeated Lancastrians.
Oh, it's that horrible fine rain. Yes. Damn it. Village rain.